Hello and welcome to Motors for the Masses, and today we're at CJ Ball Honda in Norwich. Why are we here? Well, to test ride the new 2024 Honda NX500. So let's roll the intro and get cracking. Now, as a replacement for the Honda CB500X, which was very popular, I'm quite keen to see just how different this actually is. So let's start with some specs, shall we? It has the same A2 compliant 471cc parallel twin engine, albeit with 0.03 of a cc less. Still delivers 47 brake horsepower and 32 pounds-foot of torque. However, the NX does produce 2 more CO2s. Oh, really? You get a 17.5 litre fuel tank, 0.2 of a litre less than the CB500X, and it does 78 miles to the gallon. Again, 2 less than the CB500X. I see a pattern forming here. Let's hope for an upside any minute now. And here it is. It's 3 kilograms lighter. Yes, at 196 kilos. There you go. Winner. It has the same ground clearance at 180 millimeters. It has the same seat height at 830 millimeters. However, this is 10 millimeters longer than the CB500X, not the CB. There's far too many of them, so don't get confused. I'm just going to refer to it as CB from now on because the CB500X is just too much to say. Anyway, as I was saying, 10 millimeters longer than the CB, 5 millimeters taller than the CB. However, it's exactly the same, 830 millimeters wide. Not a lot of difference, is there? Despite having fewer spokes now, you still get a 19-inch front wheel with a 110 tyre and a 17-inch rear wheel with a 160 tyre, and that's running on Dunlops. With this nice cross-tread pattern, which is good for on-road and a bit of light off-road stroke green laning. Again, in the dry, perfect. How it would fare off-road on wet grass, I don't know. But I'm not going to find out today. You get the same Showa 41mm upside down forks on the front and the same ProLink rear monoshock and steel hollow cross swing arm. The brakes are the same as the CB500X with ABS, twin 296mm front discs and 2-pot Nissan piston calipers. Nissan piston or Nissan piston? You decide. And a single 240mm rear disc with a single piston Nissan caliper. Try say that when you're drunk. I feel you get a much better look to the bike now. They've gone with more of this sort of, I want to say, mini Africa twin side profile. They've ditched this little weird nose bit, which kind of looked a bit out of proportion with the wheels and the front end on the CB500X. But I prefer this look. And then you've got this nice LED upgraded headlight on the front here. And when you turn the lights on, you've got your LED lights. I'm just going to start it up as well. So you've got your LED lights with your running lights built into the indicators. And then when you put it on main beam, a nice bright twin LED light. I like that, very nice indeed. So overall, not a massive difference between this and the CB500X. However, it does have some improvements in the important areas, I feel. The looks, for one, much nicer now. I prefer the mirrors on this. They seem to be a little bit longer, slightly bigger mirrors, and still shorter stalks, so that works quite nicely for me. I love this screen. It's very good at keeping away the buffeting, and you can get an upgrade for that, and I'll go through various accessories and upgrades you can get at the end of this video. The dash as well, fantastic, much nicer, much cleaner, very simple, and I do like this little toggle switch that you get here as well. Very easy to use, very simple, and even without researching it, you don't need a genius mind to work out what it does. Brilliant, easy. However, the important part is in how it rides. So let's get it out on the road, and then we'll have a little chat about it and talk about the accessories and the price. But just before we do, for reference, I want to get on this bike and show you what I'm like on it, and then you can see while I'm riding how I look. Not personally, but whilst riding this. Anyway, I am 5'10.5" with a 31.5" inside leg. Now, bearing in mind this front wheel is slightly raised, so I would say my feet are in a bit of a dip in comparison to the front and rear wheel. 31.5" inside leg, as I say, very comfortable. Nothing is digging in the sides. I am flat-footed with a tiny bend in my knee, no problem at all. Very comfortable in this. So here we go. This is what I look like on it. Now, if I was to put my feet up on the pegs, you can see here, my knees go nicely against the side of the tank. Not quite a 45-degree angle, but it's nice and comfortable. Depends how you have your feet. Some people have them at the front here like this, some people have them like that, some people have them in the middle. I'm a bit of a middler, so my feet tend to go in the, or foot peg goes in the middle of my foot. So either way, however you have it, it's still very comfortable. And here, brake, nice and easy, very simple. Gear lever, nice and easy, very simple. Foot up, over and under, no problem at all. Very nice indeed. Right, as I said, let's go riding. So then, here we go. And I have to say, one of the first things I notice is how unbelievably light the clutch is. As in, not even half the effort of my little finger, and I can change gear. It pulls quite nicely for a 500. Bearing in mind it is, let's say a mid-range CC bike. Sits very smoothly at 59 miles an hour. Very easy to keep at speed. Mirrors, I've got about 85% visibility to 90%. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Brakes are pretty good, although it does dip a little bit on the front suspension. Suspension is quite soft on this. Decent pickup. Goes into a corner nice and balanced. It's a blustery day today. It's flashing like it wants me to change gear. Yeah, it's going to be doing that a lot. But yeah, not bad. It sits at decent dual carriageway speeds quite well. I'm not getting a massive amount of buffeting off this screen. Seems to be holding up quite nicely. As I say, bearing in mind it is quite blustery today anyway. It is a bit boingy on the suspension, I would say. It's quite soft suspension setup. As I said, same suspension as the CB500X. But yeah, handles the corners really nicely. Another one that didn't nod. I get it all the time now, I don't even bother. People just don't nod anymore. I have to remember where the indicators are because it's one of those bikes where the horn is above the indicators. But yeah, it glides around the corners very easily. Very nice. One thing, as I said, that's an improvement over the CB500X is this dash. It is a 5-inch dash. You can be lulled into a false sense of I won't say security because it isn't. It's a false sense of it's bigger than it is, because the screen is huge and then you've got this little LCD display in the middle, but it's very clear, very easy to see. It's not difficult, not complicated. You've got the trip mileage at the bottom, your speed, your fuel on the left hand side. Your sound is off. You can connect to a phone. You've got your time up there and your rev counter obviously, and your gear indicator. So it does everything it needs to do. Just like going down this bumpy road, you do feel it is a bit spongy. There is some pre-load adjustment on the rear monoshock, but obviously the front forks are not adjustable. Especially being the same front forks as the CB500X, but it's quite an enjoyable ride. I'm not put off by the sponginess, not at all. Feels a very capable little bike. As I say, the brakes are pretty good, brakes are pretty sharp, rear brake is a bit pointless, which I find a lot of modern bikes have pointless rear brakes because the front brakes are pretty good. But I'm just going to brake using the rear brake alone. Yeah, okay. And now if I do that with the front brake, yeah, it pulls up much better. As you'd expect, obviously, but not just much better, like to the state where the front brake is doing all the work and the rear brake is just there for show. But other than that, it brakes very nicely in unison. I'm liking this. So 5th gear from 30 up to 60 or 56, no problem. Takes the corners with confidence. That's fun. It's got enough poke to be a fun bike. As I say, it moves about quite nicely. It's not massively flickable, like you shoom dart from side to side, but it wafts as it should do. I am impressed with that clutch. The gear change is nice and positive, also very simple to use. Very enjoyable. I've got a couple of bends down here if I remember correctly, so it'd be nice to see what it's like going around these left hand then a right hand bend. Pheasant, you can stay there, thank you. Deer, they can stay there and all. Nice. Yep, decent. Pulls up the hill quite nicely in 4th up to 60. No dramas whatsoever. Wow. I like the handlebar positions. The feeting positions are quite comfortable. Foot pegs are good. Nice soft seat. Very good for a long journey on your arse, I would say. If you go over some bumps, you do get a little bit of a jolt, but it doesn't hurt you. You just feel it through that suspension. It is soft, but it sort of dampens pretty well on the right surfaces by the looks of it, or by the feel of it, should I say. And what a glorious day to be riding! Very nice. Ooh, little dip in the corner. Yeah, nice. Brakes down to 30 superbly, and it doesn't feel like it wants to throw you over the handlebars, but it hunkers down very nicely indeed. It's a very pleasing ride actually. So if you put it in 6th gear at 30 miles an hour, it's not struggling. It sits there quite capably. Yeah, it's got a nice sort of throaty thump. Very sort of reminiscent of the old Dominator of the day. Those of you that know will know the reference on there. But yeah, nice. Having said that, it's quiet, it's smooth, you can't hear the engine. It's very quiet, very smooth, being that same parallel twin that the CB500X had. Now I don't know why they ditched the 500X. Perhaps, I thought it was a good seller and it was a decent bike. Perhaps it's just the looks, I don't know, but this is a nice replacement. Lovely. I kind of got a little bit of a Moto Morini Escape feel going on here, mixed with the Africa Twin and a touch of the sort of Dakar-esque. Up to 40. Drop down a gear. Thought it was a 60 for a second. Getting excited. See, it is a fun bike. You just want to drop it down and give it some through the twisties. Up to legal speeds, obviously. Nice little pop and fart from the exhaust I can hear when you do drop it down the gears. I've got a good reach on the handlebars. I like that it's quite simplistic. You've got your toggle switch here for the dash, so you can get miles per gallon, how many miles you've done, trip mileage. What if you go down? Oh, that's the other way, right? Okay, we've got yeah, I'm not quite sure what that is. Is that tyre pressures? No. Read the manual. I'm not going to go through that now, but oh yeah, you can split the dash as well, so you can split the information you've got. Okay, it's quite simple to use, it's not difficult. Traction control you can turn on and off here. Heated grips on this one as well. Look, heated grips button, so we've got heated grips on this one. And yeah, very nice indeed. That is an optional extra, I will add. You've got a 12 volt supply here, but that's a proper 12 volt supply, not a USB. It's a proper 12 volt cigarette lighter style supply. Yeah, it's very pleasing. Waiting for the 60 now, look. Sitting at 30 miles an hour. Come on, where is it? Beware deer. Alright, darling. There it is, look. Drop it down to third and let's see what it's like. In fact, no. Let's go into sixth. There we go, 30. Still pulls away. Still gets up to speed. Very nicely. Yeah, you don't have to worry about changing down. You can do it in sixth gear. Fantastic. So you do feel a bit of a bounce on the suspension, but it rides really well. Very pleasing ride indeed. Very happy with that. If this is a bike you want to take off-road, you can stand up quite happily. My legs are stretched, my arms are stretched, and it's quite comfortable. So you can stand up on it also if you want to. Nice. So if you were to take it off-road, it seems to handle sort of light green laning style riding quite well. This is quite a sandy little ditchy road, but yeah, not bad at all.
So how much is it? Well, it's £6,799. You can get a lot of different accessories and extras for this bike. I'll put the link for that in the description below. What I am going to do is show you a bike that CJ Bull have in their showroom where they've spec'd out some of those accessories, and I'll show you around that now and the prices for them, so you can have an idea of what you're looking to spend on top of the standard bike. So this is a display bike that's currently for sale for £8,669. So it's got £1,900 worth of extras on it. So for your £1,900 you get wheel stripes, a seat bag, panniers, tank pad, hand guards, crash bars, fog lights and the smoke screen. And in that price this includes 12 months tax and it's already registered, so that's the on the road price. So there you go. I don't think it's badly priced at all, straight off the mark. And then if you want to spec it to how you want, like all manufacturers do, there you go, just add a few extras. What I will show you that this bike has that the demonstrator in the showroom doesn't, is this has a centre stand. Even works quite well on this horrible dirty ground. That's £150 I believe, if you wanted one of those, and I think they're well worth getting. I like this gonad and poontang protector on the front here, nice and soft and comfortable for any area that goes in that direction, shall we say. Under the seat is typical wires and stuff, and even not quite enough space for a meal deal, but you can get a packet of crisps in there, possibly a curly whirly if you curl it, and it's a curly whirly, so why wouldn't you? And a small drink. Other than that, it's not really designed for storage, but a handkerchief, you can get a handkerchief in there. There you go. The gentleman can travel with his handkerchief. Marvellous. Quite easy to put back on, just make sure the catch lines up with that little knobble on there. So you push that down as that goes in. Make sure that hooks through there. And then you go. Nice. I like this, I really do like this. Very pleased with how it rides, very comfortable, perfect if you want to just go out for a jaunt, perfect if you want to take it on a little bit of a tour as well, I would say, and a very pleasing bike all round. Now if you are interested in this bike, as I say, have a look at CJ Bull's link in the description below, as there are details on the front of the screen there also, and that's all I've got for this episode. So thank you very much for joining me. I'll be back next time with something else, of course, hopefully minus the flies. So until next time, please ride and drive carefully, but have fun. Bye-bye.